2025 is about to end, and Happy New Year, guys. Today is one of the biggest and most important days of the entire year because everybody today is partying, going out, drinking, having fun. Well, everybody deserves it because it's been a tough year for pretty much everyone who I know, and it's uh it's been a long year as well. Like a lot has happened this year, including me graduating and getting my first job and then dropping out and then starting my business. So a lot of things has happened this year, and of course I'm very happy and very much looking forward for 2026. But in this video I'm going to talk about the mistakes I made in this year because they are very important to look at. First of all, I made so many mistakes because I feel like I slacked a lot, slacked and procrastinated a lot. That was the biggest mistake of mine this year, because I have been putting things off, thinking about them later. Okay, I'll do this later. I'll take this somewhere else. I'll do this some other day, next week, next month, next year. This just continues to happen. But in 2026, I really hope that I don't make that mistake of procrastinating more of my work, which is very important, because if you don't do it now, you're not gonna never gonna do it. And if the way you do one thing is the way you do pretty much everything. So you have to be very mindful about the way you approach things, from keeping your space clean to doing pretty much any laundry, any sort of work. You're sitting on a computer for 10 hours straight, like anything. Everything you do is like in a very similar manner, because you are a human being, you are just one person. You can't wear multiple hats all the time. So procrastinating and slacking is one of the biggest mistakes I made this year, pretty much. um, Second thing, mistake which I made is doing things for temporary pleasure, and I feel like this comes under slacking and procrastinating as well, because sometimes you feel like, okay, maybe I'll just play some video games right now, or maybe I'll just scroll on Instagram or TikTok for 30 minutes and then I'll study, or then I'll do some work, and then that 30 minutes becomes 2 hours and becomes 3 hours, and then the whole day is gone, and then you know this thing happens, and this is not very, I would say, rewarding in terms of you getting a most ROI out of your activities. And you need to win those mornings, and I'm not a morning person. I think some of you know that I have sleep insomnia, which is why I am up late at night. Last night I was up until 3, and it's not really fun because I want to wake up early in the morning. I know the benefits of waking up early in the morning, but it's so hard. It's difficult. And not only is it difficult for me, but it's difficult for a lot of people. Waking up at like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., it's not easy for anyone can do it. So I wish that in 2026 I start waking up a bit more earlier than I usually do, because on a standard day when I go to work, or like when I used to go to work, I used to wake up at 7 a.m., which is a good time. But I feel like I can push this a bit more, and then perhaps start waking up a bit earlier, like 5 o'clock, or perhaps 6 o'clock, or even 4 o'clock. It depends on the day of the work. It depends on the day. So hopefully this is something which I take care about in 2026. Then my third mistake which comes along this year is not focusing on long-term goals. My long-term goal was essentially being a business owner, having my own marketing agency, and also my software company, at least for the year of 2025 and 2026. Because I was not focusing on my long-term goals, and I procrastinated in terms of doing some work which I had to do, and not being more proactive in terms of things which I had to get done on time, it is why I am like late to what I wanted to pursue. I should have been doing what I'm currently doing in about 6 months ago, easily. Like that should have been my timeline for being successful, in a sense, like in terms of like my success metrics. So not being able to think about my long-term goals and just thinking about my short-term goals, it has affected my career essentially by a lot. So in 2026 I'll take that in mind and try to focus more on the long-term goals of my life. The fifth mistake, or wait a second, the fourth mistake which has went on is the mistake of being nonchalant. Basically, the nonchalant, is like, it means basically, not giving a fuck about a lot of things about your life, or not, not giving a fuck what other people think about you. I feel like, being nonchalant is okay, but you need to know that you need to care about some certain things. You have, of course it matters. It's, people say it's not that deep, or it's not that serious, it's not that life is, you should enjoy while you're young. while those things are also true, I think that you have to know that, your career is also in your hands. You need to know the difference between destroying your future and enjoying your young life. You need to know the difference between, what's like, either you're gonna underlive your 20s, or either you're gonna overwork your 20s. Like, there's no in between. I think everybody knows that, because you have to sacrifice so much. You have to sacrifice so many years of work and self-worth, and all those parties and all the time people call you to go somewhere or do something. You have to say no to a lot of things. So be mindful about that. I'll be try to be less nonchalant and try to care more deeply about things which are valuable to me. Then my fifth mistake this year was trading my time for money. So trading time for money essentially is working a part-time job, or working for, pay by a payroll, in a sense. Like, you are working for 17 pounds an hour or 15 pounds an hour, whatever the minimum wage in your country is. In UK it's 15 to 17 pounds an hour. So yeah, that's a, I mean, that's certainly okay. If you're working 40 hours a week, then that's about 2,000, 2,500 pounds a year, sorry, a month. And I think that's fine for most people, but obviously that's not enough for me. And I need to know that, trading time for money is like a bad thing, essentially, in the long terms of your career. Because you need to know that, in the world we live in today, because how expensive everything is getting, how, few companies are basically hyperinflating real estate, food, groceries, rent, transport, everything, right? Like, it's not easy to survive in the world today we live in, because of how hyperinflated everything is, and how salaries are not able to match those. So if you want to essentially buy a house on, but you are making 2,500 pounds a month, and then at the end of the month you have like 200 pounds left, how are you going to buy a house? You can't buy a house in a million years. Like, I know, like, you can buy in a million years, but it's very hard for, like, for you to buy a house without getting a massive down payment, and then you are putting in, giving all that mortgage and all that stuff. So obviously in UK real estate market is very bad right now, but I don't know what will happen in the future. Probably it will just get worse. I feel like it's going to get worse. So if you know about fiat currency or fractional reserve banking, it means that, money used to be backed by something back in the day. Back in America in 1970s, money used to be backed by gold. But now, because of, fractional reserve banking, and now basically money is like a piece of paper and it's not really worth anything. And anyone who's trading their time for money is essentially trading their time of life away for money, which is essentially unlimited. Look into this. Look into study fractional reserve banking. It's very, very important. It's one of the most important parts of finance, and I feel like anyone who has studied this knows how shit, like, the world is now, because now people are trading their time for something which is essentially unlimited. In the world, money is unlimited, guys. So yeah, I'll try to not go back into any of those part-time jobs, and not try to focus on anything which is not really helping my career directly, and try to focus more on my business and also my work in the long-term goals. So that's the final bit. My final verdict of this video is essentially, yes, everybody does make a mistake, but you need to know that where are you making those mistakes. Evaluate, get some feedback, because failure is feedback. And once you get feedback, you need to know where to improve, essentially. And if you want some more help, find some communities, join some like-minded people communities, go to some networking events. That's why you need to move to a tier 1 city, a bit like London, Hong Kong, Dubai, Miami, Chicago, you know literally all these cities in the world where you can focus more on your careers, and these cities actually help you boost your career. There are so many cities in the world, like Paris, also like Toronto, Vancouver, Bangalore, Mumbai. Like, all these cities, like, they're amazing. And if you want to focus and build your career, you want to meet like-minded people, you want to focus on not really bullshitting around and just trying to be get ahead in your career, you need to move to these cities in your early 20s and stay there at least for the rest of the 20s. So that's the verdict. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys have a good day today, because it's the New Year's, 31st December 2025, and just all the best for 2026. It's the biggest year, and take as many risks as you can, and take care of yourselves and your family. Okay, thank you. Love you.